Hello everyone, it's me, Solek, back with another crappily screen-recorded video. Today, I'm gonna be doing a top 10, which I didn't do for like a year maybe, I don't know, but I feel like doing this. Today, I'm gonna be going over my 10 favorite, episodes of the revived series of Doctor Who. Yeah, so much for this being a Bionicle channel, but like, yeah, I've been wanting to go over this for a while, kind of share my opinions with you guys, so I'm not going to waste any time and get into it. Remember, this is my opinion, and no, Blink is not going to be on here, because I think Blink is really overrated. It's good, yeah, but like, it's not fantastic. It's like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, maybe. But like, yeah, let's get on to number 10. At the number 10 spot, I have Series 9 episodes 3 and 4, Under the Lake and Before the Flood. This is a two-parter. Yeah, it's the two-parter with the underwater base and the ghosts. You know, this is a really great story. It's a base under siege. I can't, there's not really a lot I can think to say about it. The ghosts are really creepy. The plot is really interesting. So the plot is, the TARDIS takes Clara and the Doctor to this underwater base, as I previously mentioned, where for some reason the crew are being turned into ghosts. So yeah, they basically investigate it. That's basically the first part. And then that cliffhanger at the end of the first part with the Doctor's ghost, that was chilling. And then a second part, I think wasn't as good as Before the Flood. Isn't as good as Under the Lake, but it's still really good. Like, the Fisher King is a really cool alien, but like, I don't know if anyone remembers, like, there's a scene where like this big wave kills the Fisher King, and like, when he gets swept away, it looks so bad. Like, he just T-posing and he just gets moved out of a shot. Like, yeah, but the supporting cast this time was pretty good. Not as good as, say, The Impossible Planet or The Satan Pit, which we'll get around to soon enough. But they were pretty good supporting cast. And for a Base Under Siege story, I really do like this one. And I like the fact that it takes place in both the future and the past simultaneously. So, yeah, great story, this one. At the number 9 spot, we have Series 4, episode, was it 10 or 11? I think it was 11, Midnight. I really like this one. This is, in my opinion, probably the third scariest episode of the whole series after Blink and The Waters of Mars. But this one has a really interesting premise. So after Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, the Doctor takes Donna to this little luxury planet, right? So the Doctor decides to go on some tour bus kind of thing, and then this weird entity gets in there and possesses this one woman, and later she starts repeating things, and that's really creepy. And then eventually it gets to where she's saying things before the Doctor and other people say things, and then she possesses the Doctor, and that was just chilling. I don't know if it was as scary as the Doctor's ghost in Under the Lake, but it was still pretty chilling. This is a really good story. Probably the best episode ever written by Russell T. Davies. Well, no. I was about to say it's the best episode written by Russell T. Davies, but no, I think there's a couple more that I like. Yeah, I think there's a couple that I like more than this one. This is still a great story, though. I love this one. At the number 8 spot, we have Matt Smith's first outing, The 11th Hour. I love this one. This is probably my second favorite series opener. We'll see my favorite pretty soon. Yeah. I think a lot of people were really skeptical about Matt Smith when he first came on, because, like, you know, David Tennant is the best, and that is a fact. But this episode really did him justice. Like, he was great in this. You know, Amy and Rory were pretty good, although Rory did get a lot better later on. Prisoner Zero isn't the greatest villain, nor the Atraxi, and for the record, the CGI on the Atraxi isn't the best that I've ever seen. But I suppose it could be worse. The plot is quite simple, but Matt Smith is definitely what makes this episode so good. You got I Am the Doctor playing every 5 seconds. Yeah, this is just a great episode, and a fantastic way to start what is one of my favorite seasons. I love the 11th Hour. At the number 7 spot, we've got Series 2, episodes 9 and 10, The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit. This is easily my favorite story from Series 2. I love this one. David Tennant is great. You got a lot of ideas going around this one. You have the Doctor and Rose being stuck without the TARDIS for the first time in the new series. You have literally Satan himself as the main villain. You have an incredibly inventive setting. It's a base under siege. You have the introduction of the Ood. There's a lot of stuff this one's juggling around. I do think the Impossible Planet is a better episode than the Satan Pit. Like, they're both great. The supporting cast this one is probably the best in any Base Under Siege story, in my opinion. I can't remember any of their names, but that's probably just from me being stupid. This is the introduction of the orange spacesuits, which got used a lot in the future. See, like, Listen, Kill the Moon, I think, had it. What else? I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of any. Yeah, this is just a really great episode. I love this one. At the number 6 spot, we have Dalek. This is the first episode of the new series to contain the Daleks. And what better way to reintroduce them than have just a single one massacre an entire base of people with ease? This was my favorite episode of Doctor Who for quite a while until I got a Series 4, which I probably just gave away what my favorite episode is, but we're not going to talk about that yet. You know, this was one of the few times that I think they were actually scary. This and Parting of the Ways and I guess Doomsday to some extent were probably the only times these guys genuinely scared me. You know, Christopher Eccleston gives probably his greatest performance in this episode. I actually recreated a scene from this one, which check out that video if you like. My only real issue with this one that brings it down is probably Adam. I don't think anyone likes him, and it's a real shame that I actually share the same name as him because he's probably one of the worst companions of all time. Although then again, he was only around for this one in the long game, although, for the record, he was significantly worse in the long game. So overall, this is a really good episode, and one of the best episodes of Christopher Eccleston, but not the best. At the number 5 spot, we have, without a doubt, Peter Capaldi's best episode, Heaven Sent. What can I say about Heaven Sent? Except for the fact that it's marvelous. The Doctor is literally like the only character in this entire episode, yet somehow it manages to be amazing. Like literally, you know, you got my man Rory over here, you know, protecting the Pandorica for 2,000 years, and then you got the Doctor over here enduring a living hell for, what, 5 billion years I think it was, 4.5 billion? And then the Veil, the monster of this episode, is actually really scary. So, like, I forgot to mention the plot, didn't I? So the plot, after Face the Raven, the one person from Game of Thrones traps the Doctor inside of his own confession dial. So basically the Doctor spends 4.5 billion years trying to escape and running from the Veil, which I'm pretty sure you just saw kill him. This also contains one of my favorite songs in the entire show. I love the Shepherd's Boy, that's a great theme. And the moment you're seeing right now, the breaking the wall scene, love that scene, because like, this dude literally spent 4.5 billion years punching a wall of diamond. Like, wow. What a guy. Like, you know, when he starts getting further in the Shepherd's Boy story, or the bird story, whatever you want to call it, every, few times, man, I just started to notice that I literally jumped with joy. I love this episode. Probably a pretty surprising pick, this one, but this is, at number 4, the Sontaran Stratagem in the Poison Sky, Season 4, Episodes 5 and 6, I believe. Yeah, I really like this story. This feels exactly like a John Pertwee story, and I love John Pertwee. It's probably my second favorite out of all the classic Doctors, except David Tennant is my favorite Doctor overall, so this is effectively a John Pertwee story with David Tennant in it. And that is gold. The Sontarans, this is the only time they actually did anything up worth. Strax is fine, like, I don't hate him or anything, but, like, he's not a good Sontaran, like, he's not a soldier like these who are. General Stahl, I've kind of made him into a meme in my Discord server, but also, he's a really intimidating villain in this. The supporting cast this time is pretty good. The unit guys are pretty good. The one guy who goes to the Doctor, I think his name was Ross, he was great. Look, you just saw him right there, Doctor threw him something, like, I low-key kind of wanted him to become a companion. Luke Radigan is a bit annoying, like that one kid with the red shirt on, he's a bit annoying. But I mean, he didn't really do a whole lot, and that sacrifice at the end was great. I actually just rewatched this episode last night, and I think my opinion of it definitely got higher upon rewatch. Yeah, and you have the return of Martha, she's really good. But one thing that I didn't really like about this episode is the Sontarans' plan, like, I get the fact that they want to turn the Earth into a clone war, but like, if these guys like to have wars, why aren't they just waging war on humanity instead of, like, you know, making it into a clone world? But yeah, I really do like this episode. It's funny, it can be serious when it needs to be. Donna's that it has two really funny scenes. The scene where Donna's telling the doctor she's going home and the doctor thinks she's leaving permanently, and then he's just like, oh, you're just popping back for a quick visit, aren't you? And then she's like, you Dumbo. And then when he puts on the gas mask and says, are you my mummy? That's really funny. I love that. But yeah, I love this two-parter. At the number 3 spot, we have, without a doubt, Christopher Eccleston's best episode, The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. Do I even need to explain myself for this one? Like, there's so much good stuff going on here. Christopher Eccleston gives a great performance. Well, of course he gives a great performance. He's Christopher Eccleston, but, like, the monsters are scary. This is Captain Jack is introduced here. He's probably my second favorite character in the entire show after the Doctor himself, but, like, Captain Jack is great. Rose is pretty good here. She's not my favorite companion or anything, but she does do pretty good here. What else? Oh, the scene is playing right now. The scene at the end where everybody lives. Love that. How could you not love that? Like, you know, this is just a great episode. Best of Series 1, best of Christopher Eccleston. There's not really a lot I could say about this one. I just really like it. This is probably a pretty surprising choice for number 2, but at the number 2 spot we have the first episode of Doctor Who that I ever watched, Smith and Jones. I love this one. This is Martha's introduction. She's great. David Tennant is great. Yeah, the plot for this one is insane. So, rhinos decide to take a hospital to the moon so they can find an alien that's on a moon. On the moon, I can't speak, but yeah, or not on the moon in the hospital, I really can't speak. Yeah, it's a pretty insane plot, but it's pretty interesting. David Tennant, once again, great performance. Martha is really good in this one. A lot of people criticize that scene where he kisses Martha, but that actually had some use, because he needed to, I don't know what he said, like, put his DNA on her or something, so that the Jadoon could find the thingamabobber that he put his blood into, like the plasma vial or plasmavore, something like that. Well, no, I think, was it pyrovile? No, pyrovials were the things in the fires of Pompeii. My bad. But, like, yeah, I was talking about the 11th hour. I said it was the second best series opener. This is, in my opinion, the best. I love Smith and Jones. Like, I remember this episode quite differently, though. I remember what happened in it. It's that Martha was actually Rose, but regenerated, and I remember they were on a moon base, and there was some rhino creature stalking them and sucking up all the oxygen. So yeah, that's kind of a weird way to interpret this, but yeah, that's what third grade me thought happened in this episode. But this is a just great episode. The Jadoon looked great as well. I love the Jadoon. This is just, I love this one. So let's get on to some honorable mentions, and then I'll talk about my number 1 pick. First off, I want to talk about Father's Day. This is the 8th episode of Series 1. I don't really know what to say about this one. I just really like the tone of this one. The setting's neat. The Reapers are great. I like the fact that the Doctor actually dies, and that actually kind of as a consequence, sorta. But of course he comes back. Like, this is only the 8th episode of the first series, and we're currently on the 11th series. But, like, you know, Rose, in my opinion, this is her best appearance. Yeah, Pete Tyler is pretty good. I think I liked him better in Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, which we might be talking about. But yeah, this is just a pretty good standalone episode. Now, I used to think this episode was insanely overrated, but upon rewatch, I actually really like The Girl in the Fireplace. It's not my favorite episode or anything, but, you know, Madame de Pompadour is a pretty good one-time companion. The Clockwork Robots are pretty good villains. You know, Rose and Mickey are actually good in this one. This is the episode where I really started to like Mickey. You know, there's a lot to like about this one. If you were listening, I did give a hint about this one. I really like Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably my favorite Cybermen story of all time. At least of the new era, at least. I just said at least twice. I really need to start writing a script for these videos. But I really do like this one. I love the Cybermen design, probably my favorite. You know, the whole parallel world thing is neat. Pete Tyler is great, like I said. You know, pretty decent supporting cast, although I think it could be better. You know, David Tennant and Rose are pretty great in this one. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel. I just quite like this one. Okay, this is kind of an honorable mention, but I really love Gridlock. This is a very creative episode. The setting is neat. I like the whole atmosphere it has. You know, this is the last episode that takes place in the year 5 billion. And you know what? There are 4 episodes of Series 3 that I think are better than Blink. I think this is better than Blink. I think Smith and Jones is better than Blink. I like Utopia more, and I like Human Nature and the Family of Blood more. I think they're all better than Blink. Yeah, go ahead, you execute me, but like, that's just what I think. Yeah, I really like Gridlock. Yeah, not much to say. Alright, just 2 more honorable mentions to go. First off, The Time of Angels and Flesh and Stone. This is, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best Weeping Angel story. I love this one. Matt Smith is great, and this was only his 4th story, I think, so he's given a great performance. Amy's pretty good. River Song makes her return from Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. She's great here, which, believe me, you'll hear about Silence in the Library again. Believe me, you will. But, yeah, the angels are pretty good. You know, they do kind of mess with their biology a little bit in Flesh and Stone, but, who cares? My one gripe with this that keeps it from actually being on the list, though, is the fact that we actually see them move. They're supposed to be faster than light, so why don't we see one of them move in Flesh and Stone? But yeah, this is a pretty good story regardless. At the, well, not number 1, not yet, my final honorable mention here is A Good Man Goes to War from Series 6. I hate Series 6. I cannot watch half the episodes from that season. But when it's good, it's really good. I love A Good Man Goes to War. This episode is phenomenal. The Doctor has some great moments. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on to number 1 so I can end this video. At the number 1 spot, we have my favorite story of all time, Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. There is so much to love here. You have David Tennant and Catherine Tate being fantastic. You have the quote-unquote introduction of River Song, even though this is technically her death. You have the Vashanarada are great enemies. Well, not enemies, really. Monsters, basically. You have the supporting cast, which is pretty good. The setting is brilliant. I honestly have no flaws at all with this story. I love this 2-parter so much. It's the best of Series 4. It's the best of the whole show. It's better than Blink. It's better than Genesis the Dalek. It's better than The Girl in the Fireplace. It's better than Vincent and the Doctor. Yeah, that's right. I just said that. Shoot me. But, yeah. Phenomenal story here. That's just gonna end this video. So, haha, bye.